Hello everyone, I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's Odds and Ends. If this is your first time here, be sure and subscribe and click on that bell icon to be notified of all of my new videos. Also, give this video a thumbs up as it really helps the channel out. And now, on with the video.
Walt Disney World is home to the largest and most talented family of decorators, chefs, gardeners, and entertainers in the world. During the holiday season, we create hundreds of Christmas trees, thousands of wreaths, miles of garland, and a feast around every corner. And each year, we welcome millions of guests to our home. This season, our talented family is bringing Walt Disney World to your home for the holidays. At Walt Disney World this time of year, the most commonly heard phrase is, "How do you do that? I would love to do that in my home." Hi, I'm Don Noter, and I'm here to help answer that question. How do they do that? And like you, I have an endless curiosity and admiration for beautiful craftsmanship and decorative arts. I want you to think of our set here as your home. What makes this show so special that we'll be able to tap the minds of our creative geniuses here at Walt Disney World and ask them that question. How do they do that? And more importantly, learn how we can take their creative ideas and apply them to our own homes. Nowhere else in the world will you find such an outstanding congregation of artisans. From exteriors to interiors, entrees to desserts, nobody celebrates the holidays like Walt Disney World. So we're putting a show of ideas on just for you at home. Let's see what we can come up with. Main Street, USA, and the Magic Kingdom. The decorations here bring a remarkable festivity and warmth to these storefronts. The question is, how can we create this same feeling of warmth and festivity for the outside of our own homes? Roberta Orsini, we affectionately call her Bert. Hi, Bert.
Hi, Dan.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Bert is a decorator here at Walt Disney World, and she's going to share with us some of the ideas that we can recreate in our own homes that you all do on Main Street.
Right.
So where do we start?
Well, the first opportunity we have to make an impact on our guests is outside. And you've probably seen some of our decorating outside here at
Yes,
Disney.
you can't miss it. I
No,
mean,
you
it's
can't.
everywhere.
From the 3 giant trees that we have in the parks, to balcony garland on the Wilderness Lodge, to lampposts all over the property.
Everywhere, yeah.
Right, we decorate everything outside.
Right.
And we welcome the guests that way.
And I know that there's one thing that you all keep telling me over and over, and what is that you
That's
start with?
the theme. We start with
Right.
the theme. Our resorts basically spell out the theme that we need to work within.
Yes, I think that's the first step that you're saying.
It is,
Even
exactly.
at home, what kind of theme do you want to create in your own home? So
Exactly.
where do we start outside at home?
We're going to start with our mailbox.
Okay, well that makes sense.
What I have here is some garland.
Mhm.
It comes artificial or fresh.
Right.
You can purchase either one. The artificial garland comes in 9-foot length.
That's a
and
standard length.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I've cut it in half. So we have about 4.5 feet of garland
All right.
here that we're going to work with.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll run this ribbon right through the garland.
All right.
And you just kind of twist it right down in there.
And
The
you know,
garland
the
is
thing about the
wired.
artificial is the wires of the branches help.
Right. They hold it right down
Yeah,
there
they
in
do.
place.
They really do.
And we also have the ribbon that's wired.
Oh,
so
that's-
it's
yeah.
kind of
And it
no-fail
just-
ribbon.
I like that.
And then we'll add some other little pieces. We've got berries, and we've got some other little novelty pieces.
Mhm. I like the little teddy bear.
Right. The different berries and things
Mhm.
already come wired, and you can add wires to your other pieces
Mhm.
too, and make them very
Little
easy to
teddy bear.
attach.
So this
in.
would be also a garland and would be very appropriate for a family that had children, young
Right.
children. Some of the ornaments you actually purchased in a commercial, but then others you design yourself.
Right, and
That's
we make
great.
them ourselves.
Okay, so
On
now
here.
what do we do?
Well, we're going to take this garland that's already made, and we're
Okay.
going to go out and attach
And
it to our
again, you
mailbox.
decorate the garland first before
Decorate it first.
you actually put it on there. Makes it easier, doesn't it?
Right. And then you
Okay.
can attach it to your mailbox with just a piece of wire.
All right.
Or if you have a wooden mailbox post, you can put a screw eye in it
Mhm.
and just attach it that way.
And also then year after year, you'd have those attachments already there.
Right. And you'd have your garland already made if you
Yeah.
make it on an
So after
artificial
the first
garland.
year, it's really easy, isn't it?
Right. And at Disney, we don't have a whole lot of mailboxes we decorate.
Well, no.
But we do have lots and lots of lampposts.
Oh, so that's certainly another area at home.
Right.
With
In the Magic
lampposts.
Kingdom, if you go through, you'll see all the traditional looking lampposts.
Right.
If you go, like you said, to the Yacht and Beach,
Right. I noticed
they're
the
decorated
bow.
in their themes. and we're adding a bow to the very top.
Yeah, when in doubt, add a bow, right? Always add a bow.
Exactly.
That looks
And it
wonderful.
kind of gives it that finished look, and your ribbon can kind of carry your theme right through.
Oh,
And
right.
there we go.
All right, so we've got our
Mailbox is
mailbox
all
ready to
dressed.
go. So what do we do now?
How about the front door?
Okay, let's go. Bart, this is certainly an inviting entrance here.
It certainly is.
I noticed that you have carried through that theme again of a traditional Christmas. It looks very
We sure have. And as I mentioned before, this is the theme that we carry through the Disney Institute. And it's that traditional Christmas theme. And we've added the toys and the soldiers and all kinds of fun little
And
things.
you've added something else too.
We've added lights.
Right.
We light a lot of things here at
You
Disney
certainly
World.
do. At Epcot, the Lights of Winter is an entrance. It's a canopy to the World Showcase. I think there's over 30,000 lights
There
in that
sure
one
are.
canopy.
And that's just one of the displays here. at
One of
Disney.
many.
One of many. And as we go to the wreath, our wreath looks like just your traditional holiday wreath.
Yes.
Same colors we've carried through, same theme. There's something special about this one though. It splits in half.
Look at
So
that.
you can open your doors.
That is
So
very
if you have those
clever.
French doors or double doors on the front of your house, you can still have that traditional wreath.
So how do you do that?
Well, it's real easy to do. All you do is you get your
Okay.
basic wreath frame available at craft stores, florists during the holiday
Right.
season, and you cut it in half with a pair of wire cutters.
And-
And then you decorate both halves.
Right.
And then hang your wreath.
Special little touch there.
Exactly. Now, as you're adding the ornaments into into your wreath and adding your bow, one of the tricks that we like to use is with the ornaments. Now, all of us have had that experience of the cap popping off
I
and the
certainly
ball
have,
crashing
yes.
to the
Right,
floor.
Right.
You just put a little bit of hot glue around the cap.
And you glue the cap to it.
glue
and
the
it
cap
doesn't
to
go
it. It
anywhere.
won't go anywhere. And then we secure everything into the wreath with floral wire, readily available. again.
Very clever.
It is.
Good. What else?
It is. Another thing, when we hang our wreaths at Disney, we always make sure everything is secure on the doors.
Right.
We use a lot of maybe screws and cup hooks that you wouldn't probably want to use on your doors at home. And we could just use a little hanger that you can buy at the hardware store
Right.
or at a florist
And
or
that
a
just
craft store during the holiday season.
Slips over top of the door.
It sure
And you have a
does.
wreath.
It sure does.
Very clever.
Right.
I know that part of decorating the outside is also using the foliage and adding plant material
It
as
is.
well. So you and I have a mutual friend, Terry Eilham, that I know you collaborate with a lot on the exterior
Right.
designs. Hi,
Exactly.
Terry.
I don't
Good to
know
see you
you.
again. We worked together on the Disney Garden Magic video, and he gave us some really good pointers on that. So how do you two work together in creating your outside displays?
Well, for example, let's say over at the Grand Floridian, we like to do large displays of poinsettias.
Right.
We put poinsettias in, and
And we put the deer in that are lit. They're made out of branches, willow branches, and then lit. They're very beautiful.
over here we have a poinsettia in a clay pot.
Right.
What we tend to do is if the pot is plain, we kind of like to break that up, and in this
Right.
case we have English ivy.
I really like this touch. And again, you know, we hear so much about the details that you
Right.
all really pay
There it
attention to,
is.
and that's a nice little detail that makes a big difference. I like that touch. And I know you do lots of other things with ivy, something that's very spectacular.
Oh, yeah, we like to do things on a large scale.
Oh, that's an understatement.
English ivy in the shape of a Christmas
Wow,
bell.
Look at this. Look at this bell.
beautiful.
And of course the bows.
Very
Right.
tiny
You always
decorations
have
with
bows.
landscaping.
All right, now tell us a little bit about this. How do you
Okay,
do
well
that?
this is on a large scale, but
Right.
for the homeowner, same principle, all you need to do is use a smaller basket. So
And
it's-
we learned how to do this on the garden video as well, how to make these.
that's it.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Basically, it's about 6 plants. You grow them down for as long as you need in that
Right.
length. Then you snip them, and that creates all the side shoots. And then you start trimming it to make sure you get that nice bevel,
Right.
bell shape, and that's all there is to it. Regular fertilizing program, watering, and trimming. It takes about a year
Right.
to prepare something like this, but we keep them for about 3 to 4 years.
So
it's
that
well
is
worth-
something that you can have year after year
It's
for a
well worth
while.
the investment.
Terrific. And we'll see you two later on in the show.
Great.
All righty. At Walt Disney World, we greet our guests with exterior decorations. We carefully choose an appropriate theme for each area. Then we use lampposts, entrances, and windows to tell our story. In addition, horticulture continues the theme, adding elements to the flower beds and individual plants. In my opinion, everybody should have a friend like Jane Markheim from the Disney Institute. It's a new vacation experience which appeals to everyone with a sense of wonder. It's a vacation with a difference, and the difference is in the programming. You can try your hand at being an accomplished chef, a movie maker, animator, scratch golfer. The list is endless. The Disney Institute brings us instructors and artists in residence that will make your experiences truly memorable. Jane is a design arts instructor there, and she's the type of person who always has the perfect idea for every occasion.
Friends and family, that's what holiday season is all about. A holiday sachet is a beautiful door decoration, And it gives a wonderful fragrance that welcomes holiday guests as soon as they arrive at your home. All you need is some fiberglass screening, which you can find at your local hardware store. First, cut out both halves of your sachet from the mesh fabric. Then, spray paint the mesh a color that you like. Stitch the outer edge closed with copper wire thread, but leave a small opening so that the spices can be inserted. Fill the sachet with a potpourri mixture. You can use star anise, juniper berries, bay leaves, cloves, nutmeg, or allspice. Use an aromatic combination that suits you. Then you can stitch the opening shut. Stitch a thin piece of the mesh or perhaps a ribbon to the top of the sachet as a handle so you can hang it from your door. And just like the Walt Disney World decorators, attach a bow for a decorative finish. A holiday sachet is a lovely gift idea.
It's exciting and fun putting on a feast, especially with some help from our next guest, John State. John is the chef at the Flying Fish Cafe at the Boardwalk.
Hi, Don. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
All right.
Well, it must be exciting working in a restaurant and coming up with all of the themes and the menus, and tell us a little bit about that.
It is great. It's an opportunity to showcase some of my creativity. It's a commitment, but also something I really enjoy.
Well, tell us a little bit about the restaurant. I mean, what's sort of the theme of the Flying Fish Cafe?
I think what we're looking at is new American cooking. It's bringing back some of the traditional items that maybe have been successful in the past, but maybe have been highlighted. Actually, today we're going to start with roasted crispy duck. We're going to do wild rice and braised red cabbage.
Oh, that sounds really good. Well, let's get started.
In order for it to get the nice crispy skin, we have to let it dry for like 2 days in the refrigeration. And so I've actually taken the time to rinse the duck, and I'm going to season it with some fresh
ground pepper.
That's right.
Okay.
It's one of the most widely used spice in the kitchen.
Right.
And since there is a large surface of actual just fat to meat, we do have to season the duck quite a bit with pepper and with salt.
I do that.
So let that sit for 2 days.
2 days in the refrigerator.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to just slide that in the refrigerator?
Okay, I think Gino's here to help us. All righty, thank you. Okay, these have been in the refrigerator for 2 days.
Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to actually try a simple tying technique, a trussing, as you will. What this does is it allows the duck to have a uniform shape as it roasts, even exposure to all the flesh, so it does caramelize nice. And we'll try a little technique here. Okay. Around the end here. There are many ways to truss poultry, but I think this is the one that's most easy to duplicate.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Looks great.
Okay.
We got it.
Now, salt.
Oh.
Okay. Something that we have to have for flavor.
This has a real texture to it. Is this a certain kind, special kind of salt?
This is actually kosher salt. It has a nice consistency, so it stays in your fingers really well. And then we'll add a little of this ancho chili powder.
Just a little.
Just for a little zip, not too much. We're ready to go in the oven.
Okay, what's the temperature?
350. It should take about 2 hours.
2 hours at 350.
Exactly.
Any basting or anything else that we need to do?
No, not at all. It's pretty
Just
simple.
put it in the oven for 2 hours.
Exactly.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Now what are we doing?
Now we're going to start with the wild rice. This is a rice that comes from Minnesota. And the ingredients here, we have Spanish onions, butter, wild rice. As you
That's
can see.
really a long grain rice, isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
It is.
All I need from you is some chicken stock over here.
Okay. Chicken stock.
We can set it right there.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll start with a little butter, not too much.
Okay. We can cut back on the amounts of some ingredients, but to eliminate it completely, you can't do it.
It's always the struggle.
It is, isn't it?
Because you don't want to give up too much flavor, but you can make some substitutions. So what we'll do is we'll add our onions to that, and we'll cook the onions until they're translucent, softening up the bite to an onion, and actually extracting some of the natural sugars in the vegetables.
And so really it's just until they lose their white color.
We can actually then add our rice, our chicken stock.
How much stock?
It's about 4 times the amount of rice, so it's about 1.5 cups of rice will feed about 6 people.
Okay.
And then we can add 4 times that amount. And we have some fresh thyme.
Yeah, we have the thyme in there.
Okay.
Now what?
We can add the
That smells so good.
Okay. It just looks like about 1.5 cups.
Okay.
Okay. Our stock.
Keep stirring.
Okay, right. Touch of salt.
Okay.
And we have some pepper.
Oh, I noticed the Mickey pepper
Isn't that nice?
grinder. That's appropriate. That's great. Oh, what?
Okay, what we need to do is cover this.
Okay, we'll save that. Okay. Simmer at what, medium?
Mm-hmm.
For about how long?
Should take about 40 minutes or a little more, depending on the temperature of your stove.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can start with that pot down there.
This big one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here?
Yes. This is for the braised cabbage. Pan is heating up here.
Getting there.
Okay. Crispy bacon adds a lot of texture to the cabbage and also renders all the fat from the bacon,
Right.
which will help coat the vegetables.
Okay.
Okay.
Red onions this time.
Yes. Red onions, a little softer in flavor. To this, we'll
And
add
again, the smell is wonderful.
about a half a cup of chicken stock.
Good. You know, when I was at the Flying Fish the other day visiting with you there, it was an open kitchen. I mean, the kitchen is right in the middle of the restaurant, open to the rest, and the aroma from all of those dishes.
Bringing the excitement right to the guests.
It certainly
It's part of
was.
the entertainment.
Yeah.
Let them see and
You could
witness
watch
all
the
the
chefs,
magic.
you could smell it, you could, yeah, that's a nice
Brown
feature.
sugar.
Brown sugar. How much?
Okay. It's about half a cup, and always when you
Okay.
measure brown sugar, you always have to pack it tight.
Packet. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. Caraway seeds.
Caraway seeds. All right.
And as that comes to a boil,
Mhm.
once it does, we can add the cabbage.
Okay. Red cabbage.
Again,
This is a colorful dish, you know. It's very pretty.
keep coating it up till all the liquid absorbs into the cabbage.
Okay.
There we go.
Looking good.
Okay, cover the cabbage.
Okay.
The sauce is actually something that's my favorite part of the entire meal because I think it takes the most technique and the most knowledge, but this sauce is actually quite simple.
Okay.
Here we're going to start with brown sugar.
Am I stirring again?
Yes,
Okay.
the stir technician.
I am. I'm getting good at this.
Cinnamon sticks.
Cinnamon sticks. All right.
Let that cook for a few
How
seconds.
much brown sugar was that?
This is again about a half cup.
About a half a cup.
We add some
Orange juice?
orange juice.
About.
That's about equal to 3 navel oranges.
Okay.
And we've taken another navel orange and we've actually blanched it.
Now,
We'll save that later.
What do you mean by
Actually,
blanching?
that blanching is a technique that you boil water and you add an item to it,
Right.
and it cooks it gently, quickly, and then you take it out of the hot water and you put it right into ice water, and perfect color, retains its nice natural
Yeah.
shape to it.
Okay. This is the pulp from the juice.
Yes.
And again, these were fresh oranges.
Yes. We're going to take the duck, and as you can see, all the extra juices on the bottom of the
Oh, yeah.
pan here,
Right.
we're going to drain those off. That way we can refrigerate those, and the fat will congeal, and then we'll have the natural juices in the bottom. I've roasted the neck and the gizzard.
Right.
Again, we can add this back to the sauce for flavor.
Okay, we're gonna get a little more flavor.
Exactly. Most of it will be discarded.
And we're gonna put this in the refrigerator.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And we've.
This is great. So actually what we have in here is all the juices and some of the seasoning from when the duck was actually peppered with
Right.
the salt too. And we can actually add that back into the
Okay.
sauce.
And we've already taken off the fat that
Mhm.
was congealed on top. All right.
And we're also going to add a consistency to where it's a sauce-like. Now it looks like liquid.
Right.
So we have a little lemon juice
Okay.
for flavor. Acid brings out a little spark.
Okay.
And we're going to add a little of the cornstarch to our vinegar. This way we can actually make a slurry,
Mm-hmm.
and this will allow the sauce to thicken. If it gets too lumpy, you can actually just strain the sauce
Mm-hmm.
through a fine strainer,
Okay.
which we will do here.
But you're really getting this very well mixed
Right.
in a slurry.
Otherwise, if you don't mix it with your hands, you try to do it with a spoon or a fork, you will get those little particles and it will show up in your sauce.
Okay.
So as the sauce comes to a boil, we can actually you can actually use the whisk.
Okay.
And as I add the cornstarch slurry, you just keep stirring.
Keep stirring. And you've turned it down a little bit, I think, haven't
Right.
you, to a lower heat.
You don't want it to boil too hard.
And slowly pour it in
Right.
and keep stirring.
And about 30 seconds from now, you'll see that the sauce will actually start to come together.
This is smelling very good. Now what?
You can take out the giblets
Okay.
and the neck. Okay, we don't need those anymore. Okay. And here you have it.
Ooh. Oh.
How's that sound?
That's
Nice.
That's
Actually, what we should do
wonderful.
is we should
We
taste
need to
everything.
Taste this, yeah.
This one's right
Oh,
here.
here we go. Mmm. Nice little zip there.
I think we're there.
I think we are. That's
Good.
terrific.
Okay, here we're actually, again, the trick I showed you earlier. We'll strain this.
Okay. No lumps, though. You're the master. That's why you're here.
All the sauce goes through the strainer.
Ooh.
And then to this, we'll add the
Blanched
orange zest.
orange. All right.
Color, flavor,
Aroma.
all of it. What we're trying to look for here is a tender cabbage. A little bit of the liquid left in the bottom.
Right.
Keeps it moist.
Next.
Okay. Grains are cooked.
Right.
It's not overcooked because it will tend to get too soft. We're gonna add some fresh corn,
Very good. Okay.
some red bell peppers for color and flavor also. A splash of vinegar. And just a touch of salt.
I need to do this. You know, here.
Well, you definitely want to add flavors. That's our first focus,
Right.
ingredients. And then at least look for some great presentation.
Right. That's looking
Okay.
very good. So we have a lot of the, again, the sort of native American or traditional American foods.
Yes.
Well, John, you certainly have created a wonderful combination of a little bit different food.
It is a classic dish. It's not as tradition, but duck really marries well with the cabbage, the rice, all these winter flavors.
Well, you've done a wonderful job. I can't wait to have our feast.
Good.
If there's one time of year that candles are greatly appreciated, it's during the holiday season. To make your own gift of scented candles, you'll need a square galvanized tin, scented candles, some Excelsior, and 1/4 inch grosgrain ribbon. First, fill the galvanized tin with Excelsior, and then place the votive holders inside the tin. As a final touch, take grosgrain ribbon and tie a bow at the center of the tin.
None of us have a foyer as majestic as the Grand Floridian. I'll never forget the first time my wife and I entered the foyer and saw that 65-foot Christmas tree on display there. It was breathtaking. The lights are constantly playing from the mirrors and the silver balls, and it is covered with beautiful, beautiful flowers. It's mesmerizing. Our next guest is Belinda Robertson. Belinda is the designer for all of the decorations here at Walt Disney World. Hi, Belinda.
Well, hi, Don. How
Nice
are you
to see
today?
you.
Same here.
Good. You have quite a job.
Oh, yes, I
The
do.
last time I saw Belinda, she was in the warehouse. This cavernous warehouse.
Quite large.
I think you told me, how many semi-tractor trailer loads of decorations do you store there
130 of them.
that you ship out every
Every
year
year, that's
into
correct.
the park? That's
That's right.
amazing. Well, tell us, how did you come up with that wonderful, beautifully, I lose the adjectives in describing that Christmas tree.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, it's quite easy. Because here at Walt Disney World, when we're planning for Christmas, whether it's for the Grand Floridian Hotel or Main Street at the Magic Kingdom, the common and most important element to remember is theming.
And we've heard that before, and I'm sure we're going to hear it again, that is the first step.
When we're doing either, say, the Grand Floridian or Magic Kingdom on Main Street,
Right.
they're both Victorian in theme.
Okay.
Well, if we use, on Main Street at the Magic Kingdom, we use deep burgundies and rich emerald greens.
More of the traditional reds and greens.
feels, exactly. Whereas at the Grand Floridian, we use a softer palette that gave us a more elegant look. And for example,
All right.
this particular wreath is used at the Grand Floridian Hotel in its lobby. And you'll notice the lighter colors and the shades that we've used. You'll also notice that we used an awful lot of flowers on this, which again is Victorian in feel. The beautiful linen magnolias and poinsettias, a little bit of lilac. And then what we did is we took and we tied all of these elements together with this very beautiful transparent gold ribbon.
And it is very elegant.
Well, and we chose transparent for this so that you could see the colors come through the ribbon.
And it really does tie it all together.
Yes, it
doesn't
does. Ties it all together very nicely.
And there is an interesting thing about this wreath, isn't there?
Well, yes, there is. You'll notice that we've used one of this and two of that to create this beautiful masterpiece. So at home, don't be afraid to get your leftovers out and make yourself a dazzling showstopper.
Just using ornaments in a different way.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay?
Well, it is elegant.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. What are some other ideas for theming? that
Well,
we can
I'd like to
use?
share with you a couple of my favorite things.
Okay.
One of them being this particular piece that's used at the lobby of our Dixie Landings Resort. And so what we did is we tried to tie in things that are conducive to the South, such as the natural cotton bowls. Again, we use the beautiful magnolias, dogwood, all of these things that, you know, inherently you find in the South.
Right.
Now, with this particular piece, the ribbon is a little different. So if you're at home and you're trying to come up with a theme and you're not quite sure where to go with it or how to start it, look around at your furniture, the pillows that might be on your sofa, or maybe they're in your favorite chair. It might even be the same drapery fabric that you used in the house.
So basically just start at home in the room that you're going to use and get some ideas from the furnishings that are already there.
That's correct.
Okay.
So if you have a lot of red in there, use red. And if it's blue or green or gold, whatever your color palette is in your room, use that as the basis for where you start your decorating.
Okay. Right.
Okay? Let me share with you another one for the Majestic Northwest, which is where this hotel...
Obviously, I mean, where else would you include
moose antlers.
Moose antlers in your wreath? But it works. It certainly has the Northwest theme.
And so if this is where you live in that region of the country and you have these things that are available to you...
Right, and I understand that they shed these antlers every year, so that there are antlers available to use in a wreath.
That's what I understand.
Okay.
And so, again, what we did with that in using this was we chose all natural items. The lichen grows in the woods,
right?
The beautiful mosses, the sugar pine cones.
My favorite are the feathers over here.
Right, and these were to simulate eagle feathers. And so what you can do is at your local craft store is buy a turkey feather, which is what this actually is. You spray paint the tips on them and you've simulated an eagle feather. Okay? And then what we did is we tied this piece together. All of the natural brown tones were a little
very
on the
earthy,
board.
very rustic.
So we brought in the beautiful red poinsettias and a wool plaid ribbon, actually of which we used two different types on this.
I like it.
You like it? Well, let me share another one. I know that you love to sail.
I do. It's absolutely my favorite hobby in the world.
Well, this particular piece we use at the yacht.
Look at that schooner.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
Well, we use this at the yacht club, and what we've done with
that's
this,
certainly appropriate.
Isn't it though? So each one of the wreaths that are over there have a different boat in them.
Okay.
And we also selected traditional nautical themed colors. Take a notice of the ribbon that's on this. We use a brocade, a velvet, and a metallic all together in one, so it creates interest.
So you can even combine textures and colors in the use of ribbon and use more than one kind.
This boat may be on someone's fireplace mantle.
Right.
Pick it up and use it. Tie it into what you already have incorporated in your home. Well, let me share with you another idea. So if you're at home and you want to decorate a garland for your house, and since for our living room, the theme of ours is Victorian, we're doing a Victorian garland for this piece.
Okay.
Hi Jane, how are you today?
Hi Jane, how are you?
Nice to see you. I was explaining to Don about this garland. So you want to start with your green garland first, and if you choose to light it, make sure that you put the lights in before you decorate it. Okay? So you've got your green garland and you've got your lights. Then we start by taking like pieces of ivy, in this particular case. Very elegant Victorian women had things like this. And then we make little bouquets of flowers for this piece.
Almost looks like a wedding bouquet, doesn't
almost like one, exactly.
Very elegant.
And with this piece, once you have it, all with the flowers in it, then we take and we either tape them together or wire them together, whatever your choosing is. A lot of people wire is a lot easier. And then when you want to install this into the piece, very simply, use a piece of greenery that's attached to the garland and just feed it through and wrap it around.
So within the garland are miniature bouquets of flowers in addition to the other ornaments. What are some other ornaments that you have here?
Well, we used ornaments that were complementary to our white theme. We decided, you notice that Jane has the beautiful silver and frosted white, the pine cones with a little bit of silver detail.
Lace.
Very nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
Love
nice
white.
little touch.
And then when it's all incorporated together, it's very soft, very feminine and elegant.
Wow.
How about we share with you a table centerpiece?
Okay.
Okay. Food, fruit, vegetables, you know, they're at an abundance during the holiday season. And so what we did is we made topiaries out of our fresh fruit. And this particular piece, what you'll do, we're going to simply remove this.
Okay.
We start with a gold, or an azalea pot actually, that we've spray painted gold. And
just a clay pot?
Just a clay pot.
Okay.
Okay, and of course my favorite thing has been attached to that.
We have to add a bow.
Have to have a bow.
Absolutely.
And then what you want to do is, a lot of people have magnolia trees in their yards, and if you don't have magnolia, you should go to a florist. They have these. And what we've done is we've created a base for this piece simply by using the magnolia leaves.
Nice little finishing touch. Little detail
to this, right?
And again, these are materials that you can buy at any craft store, floral shop.
Exactly. And with this, you'll see how nice and easy these come off. So here's, you start with your
comb.
your comb. And Jane has already inserted for us the wooden picks into the apples. Again, it's a craft store or florist item that you can get. Just a pick, a wooden pick.
Floral wire already connected.
Right to it. You insert it in, and then another thing that you'll notice is that on this particular topiary, you start with your largest fruit at the bottom, and you work your way up to the smallest.
So it works up to the top, getting smaller.
If somebody decides that they want
Someone
to pick
gets hungry,
your holiday table,
it's easy to replace.
That's great, sure is.
Okay.
And we also use another element in this, Dusty Miller. And Dusty Miller, because it is available, most people have it growing in their yards.
Right.
And you use the same wooden pick again. Yes.
Wire it on.
And you'll lay it in and just use the wire that's there to twist it on. Now you're going to want to shorten this because it's going to be a little bit too long. For this, use a pair of wire cutters and trim it off. And for a finishing touch on this particular project, you'll notice that Jane is placing bullion. And it's an item, again, that's available in almost all your local craft stores. By pulling it, gives us, right. And it's that little bit of glitz.
Just a little bit of glitter.
Just a tiny bit that gives it such a beautiful holiday feel.
Sure does.
And this piece.
Whoa, this is a tree top? That is elegant. And obviously Victorian.
Very Victorian, but again, now this goes back to our room that we've been working in, and so that the design here is Victorian, so we want to keep with that feel. And we took a lot of stems of flowers, and you're layering them into the piece, and then you use your floral wire to hold all of this together. And you'll want to do 3 or 4 other wraps on this because you really want to keep the stems nice and tight on.
Right.
And then once you have it all wrapped together, you take your final piece of ribbon.
Of course, we add the bow, right?
The bow. Must have a bow. And you notice that it is a bow that we've tied.
It is beautiful, and I notice that it has very long
stringers. And this becomes your treetop. And what you'll do is a lot of this will be pulled down so that it actually will open up into a little bit larger bouquet. The ribbons will just flow simply down the tree.
Well, and again, from top to bottom, you've carried off in this case, your elegant theme.
Yes, we have.
That is beautiful.
Now, Don, I'd say for you, the last part of this, because I know it's your favorite decorating element, and that's the Christmas tree.
Oh, absolutely. I love Christmas trees.
Well, let me share with you this one that we have over here. A lot of people have villages, and they simply run out of room in their home to place their village. We suggest that you do use an artificial tree as opposed to a live tree because some of the pieces are a little heavy. So what you want to do in order to place them on your tree, you remove the light from the bottom and you take a floral wire and thread it through and twist it in at least 2 locations, 3 if you can get it in there. So once you have it twisted on, you're going to simply take, Jane, will you get this side?
And wire it to the tree.
And wire it right into the tree, and it's done.
And and again, the details to this tree over here, you have the Christmas village on the tree and the little bands of snow, I'm supposing representing...
Well, these were streets. Just the whole look, the icicles hanging off the bottom of it.
Right, so again, you've carried through the idea of a theme. And what an interesting way to highlight a collection, whether it's the Christmas houses or some other...
It could be teddy bears, it could be... anything that you have in your home.
That you could really...
Seashells. A lot of people love seashells. What a great thing to use in your home and put them on the tree.
So once again, theming is important to interior decorating at Walt Disney World. We use a large variety of themes. Look to use table settings, Christmas trees, and wreaths with plenty of detail.
Let me tell you about a technique called platforming. During the holiday season, probably the hardest thing to decide is not what you'll cook, but how you will display your culinary works of art. If you serve espresso, try this technique at home. First, place some clay pots or boxes in varying places on a small table, creating different levels. Next, place an antique throw or other decorative cloth on top of the table over the pots. Finally, place books, artwork, vases, and your espresso cups around and on top of the platforms to form a beautiful vignette.
At Walt Disney World, desserts always go down in the most delightful way. Whether it's a trifle from Epcot's United Kingdom or A holiday gingerbread creation found in any of the Disney resorts. There is always something for your sweet tooth at Walt Disney World. This is my friend Eric Herbacek. Hi, Eric.
Hi,
Nice to see you again. Well, tell us a little bit about gingerbread.
Well, gingerbread there are different ways of making gingerbread. There's a simple way like a cookie, but the traditional gingerbread is really a little bit more difficult, but much more the classy way. You cook the honey and mix it into the flour, and you have a base dough. You mix the dough and let it rest for about at least a month. This looks like almost like a cheese. It's very dense.
Yeah.
I had to prepare it ahead of time because it needs to rest. When you have your basic honey dough ready, after a month of rest, you mix your eggs, your spices. Basically what I have here is a special mix which is called, in German, it's called Lebkuchengewürz, which is ginger spice.
Okay.
I mean,
And of
and
course
you
you
can
ordered, I think you ordered this from Germany.
This is a special mixture, but you can substitute that anytime with nutmeg, clove spice, ginger, cinnamon, and anise. And there's one more ingredient which is extremely important. It's called ammonium carbonate. The thing is, when it's cooked, it disappears.
Okay, so
Once
once you reach a certain temperature,
Right.
the smell and the taste all
Right.
disappears, and it serves as the rising agent.
The main thing is that if I would use baking powder, it would rise totally unevenly because of the density of the dough.
Right.
It would spread out. If I use this particular, it only rises up.
Up.
It will not spread out.
So that
It keeps the shape
This shape.
what I need.
Okay. We would combine these
Then
items
you have your final dough. When you combine the honey dough with the
and the spice dough.
spice dough.
Okay.
Once you have that,
This is the architecture part, right?
well,
you have to
maybe you
design
have
the
to do a little
house.
bit something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
And you try it. You can degrade it as much as whatever you like to. Like we have here one already built. All you need is just some flour and spread it out evenly.
Okay.
Cut a piece of dough like this. And it's a kind of dense dough.
Very dense. Yeah. And to
But
what
it-
thickness approximately?
About an eighth of an inch. You have
You
your.
have your template here.
What you do is the best thing is a pizza cutter. A knife will track the dough with a
Right.
pizza cutter.
So the pizza cutter.
It's just the right thing. You just cut it
Boy, that
straight
really
like
works
this.
well.
And then you have your pieces like that. And then you brush it with an egg wash.
Okay.
Just to give it this nice walnut brown color.
Okay.
And then you just bake this at 350 degrees for
For-
about 14 minutes.
14.
Yeah, depends
Okay.
how dark you want to have it.
Yeah.
At least 14 minutes it needs, because if it's not baked enough, it will not hold up. Like they already baked, you see, when the texture of the dough, it is very soft.
Oh, it is very soft.
It's very soft, and it gives you a great smell
Oh, yes.
from the other spices, you know.
It is. It's wonderful.
So, and then I have some chocolate pre-melted.
Okay.
It should be only a temperature of 85 degrees.
All right.
If any
so
hotter than that,
you
it's,
melted that over a double
if
boiler.
it's overheated, chocolate tightens up too much, and it won't set. It looks gray when it's dried up, and so it has to be a.
Okay.
So you just put a little bit of this chocolate,
And this is what kind of chocolate? Just baker's chocolate?
just regular baker's chocolate.
Okay.
And you get a spatula, you spread it out a little bit like this.
And about how thick is that then?
This is about
Less than an eighth.
less than an eighth, a little bit.
Okay.
And then you use
Smells are wonderful.
those pieces and just press it on like this.
Okay.
And you let it set. And once the chocolate is set, just take a knife, go along the lines, and
And
it's done.
okay, and then that makes it much more
And
sturdy.
it makes it more sturdy because
Certainly does.
of the texture of the gingerbread. It needs somehow support,
Right.
and that way it keeps it up straight, and it will hold for all over the holidays.
How do you pull all this together?
How? Yeah, I'm also using chocolate.
More
and-
chocolate.
More chocolate. Let's put this away first.
Okay.
This takes time to set anyway for a while. So what you do then, you have these pieces here like this,
Mhm.
and you dip these pieces,
Okay. Again, just dipping the piece.
feeding it like there, just
Okay.
on the edges,
Right.
and then you just put this together like this. Sometimes it's helpful if you have help here, maybe from your kids, or
Okay.
and then to hold this together like this, I have a royal icing. It's called royal icing. It's sugar icing. It's only egg white and powdered sugar and a little bit, a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. Then you pipe along the edges like this, and also in the inside. So when this sugar and the chocolate hardens up,
Really just
it will
cements it in
It
place.
cements it in place.
And look at this over here. This is really.
Well, and of
you've done a
course-
lot of work on this. I
Of
saw
course,
this the
then
other day. You've added some
with that
more.
you can go then really in details. You have
Mhm.
little fence here. You make little Christmas trees. I mean, like I have one Christmas tree. Really, it's rather simple to make, You have the star cutters.
Right.
You cut stars out and get smaller as
And
they
each
go
one
up.
is smaller, and then
you
you
just stack them up.
stacked it.
And then it really looks like a little
That's
Christmas tree. You
wonderful.
can put
And
right,
then gingerbread cookies, I suppose, with the little pieces that were
and
left
then
over.
you have gingerbread cookies,
Candy canes. Right.
or chocolate dipped little hearts, or whatever it may be, like little stars.
Well, from the complexity of gingerbread to the simplicity of souffle, right?
Right.
How do we do this?
Well, souffle, what is a souffle is basically a very light dessert. The only ingredient that makes these things rise is egg white, actually. But first you have to cook your milk, bring it to a boil.
This is milk. This is not heavy cream.
No, that's just milk. So when the milk starts boiling up, then you have to add, the flour has to be sifted.
How much flour?
6 ounces, according to this particular item I make now.
Okay.
It's kind of sweaty thing, but this is just,
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
see, when you just actually, it has to loosen when you while you're mixing it.
So I'd say really one of the most important factors in this is the strength.
Then you add your chocolate.
All right.
Just a little.
Okay.
You add your spices, like we have at the gingerbread. You just don't use any more ginger. You use
Okay.
cloves, nutmeg, and some allspice, and a little cinnamon. So you add a half a teaspoon of each of those spices.
All right.
I just choose this type of recipe because it fits very well into Christmas
Right.
with all the spices and so.
Mhm.
But in the same time, you could do a strawberry souffle when you don't put all this chocolate in. You just make a thick strawberry puree and pour this into this paste.
Into this paste.
Right.
Okay.
And once this is done, you have to cool this down a little bit. It shouldn't be used while it's hot like this. So what we have here is, this is just the same mixture with all the spices and everything
Right.
in, but it has to have this basic texture. But
Yeah.
that's why you have to cool it down
Mhm.
so it doesn't become
Is
so
this,
gooey.
when you say cool, is it room temperature?
Like room temperature.
Okay.
Not doesn't have to be refrigerated.
Okay.
Then you put the egg white in here.
Okay.
And the sugar.
A little bit of sugar.
So then you mix this up to a thick meringue. It's a little bit noisy thing in the kitchen. Egg white has to be cold from the refrigerator.
Okay.
Because if they're too warm, they won't just come up right. You know?
Oh yeah, that's working.
So it's just a matter of a few seconds almost if it's enough.
Right.
You have the texture like this so it holds up like this. Not over whipping it. If it's over whipped, it becomes too flaky and it has no more room to rise in the oven.
Okay.
So it needs just to be creamy like this. That's
Okay.
just a little bit to loosen up the base. And yeah, you can really stir it thoroughly. No,
Can I do that with
you
this?
don't have to be real
You
careful with
worked
that.
this whole time. Let me give you a little break.
Sure.
Just keep whipping here.
Just keep it. So
Okay.
now you have to slow down, all right?
Okay.
You have
slow
to.
down here.
And this one has to be folded in basically, not just
Not
mixing
this,
it.
you
in.
just fold it.
Just
kind of, this
gently.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's how
You
it's
doing
supposed to. Yeah, you're doing just fine.
All right.
I guess you learned it somewhere, right?
I've been watching the master.
Okay, so that would
Good. Just kind of fold
be.
it
It's
like
just
that.
for it because if you mix it too hard, you break the egg white down again.
Okay, this is ready.
You have your molds, which you brush with just a thin film of butter,
Okay.
soft butter, and sprinkle it with granulated sugar.
Mhm.
And what you have to make sure is greased and sugared, because if there's, let's say, a spot there's no sugar, the souffle will not come up straight, it will come out sideways.
Make sure that we evenly spread the butter.
Right, on
Cover all of the inner
on
surface.
in even
And the sugar.
layers. So
Okay.
fill this up in your molds, up to almost full, almost filled up.
Okay.
And make sure you don't have any spots at the edges, because they will dry out in the oven and that will hold the souffle back on one side. And you have the same effect if you don't grease it properly.
So we have to be very careful and neat when we do this.
That's right.
You're doing very well there. You've done this a lot.
Well, I think I made a couple thousand already.
A couple of thousand.
Anyway, that would be just that, and then
Okay.
we place this in the oven
What temperature?
at 350 degrees.
350?
Yeah.
Or how long?
For 15 to 16 minutes.
15 to 16 minutes.
Right.
350.
Okay, while it is baking,
Okay.
you make your sabayon, which fits real good with Christmas items. You get a double boiler water, and you have to really mix this real good. You can't stop mixing it because otherwise it won't come up
Okay,
again.
now what is this?
This is like a sabayon is champagne. We're using champagne here.
Okay.
Sugar, and then I use cranberries, but once after later it's straight up. Just make sure your water is constantly boiling, so you'll be able to, it thickens it up. But you have to really keep on strong mixing.
Okay, so this is champagne, sugar, and eggs.
Right. It's already baked right now.
Yeah, it is.
So now you're almost done. You just add your cranberries.
And this is the whole cranberry.
This is just cooked cranberries, and that's
Back to the boiler.
and then
Oh,
back
it's
to the
starting to-
boiler. Pink color actually. Okay, once this done, I think in the meantime our souffle should be ready by now.
All right.
See how it came out? Oh, it looks great.
Look terrific.
See what we have here. But you have to serve this right away.
Okay.
Once this comes out of the oven, you have maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Otherwise, it will go down. You will. Anyway, what you do, you open this like this. So it have a very smooth texture, and then you just put some of your
Sabayon.
Sabayon in there, and just serve it like that. Or you can serve the Sabayon on the side, whatever.
The perfect souffle. Well, I know you're leaving tomorrow for Austria. Thanks for being a part of our show, and have a wonderful vacation.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Good job.
Thank you.
I want to show you how to make tuxedo strawberries. First, remove the stems from 12 large strawberries. Melt some dark and white chocolate in separate double boilers or in hot water baths. Now, dip each strawberry into white chocolate, leaving the top exposed, and set the berries aside to allow the chocolate to harden. Place the tip of each strawberry into the dark chocolate and immerse in a side-to-side motion to form the V of a tuxedo jacket. Allow that layer of chocolate to harden. Fill a plastic sandwich bag with melted dark chocolate. Cut a small pinhole in the corner. Pipette some dark chocolate from the plastic bag and draw buttons and bow ties on the white chocolate shirt. Allow that chocolate to harden. Now insert some mint sprigs in the top of the berries. For display, place the strawberries on individual paper coasters. Place them in a single rose container, like you'd find at your local florist. And don't forget, tie a ribbon around the rose container.
Details, details, details. Walt Disney World is well known for paying attention to details. This same philosophy can make all the difference in your home. It's the little things that make a big difference. After all, it truly is a small world. Bert, what are some of the little things that can make a big difference at home?
Well, I love the little things. And some of the little touches, this is a grapevine bottle. And we've spray painted it gold, added a ribbon on the top, and a little bit of greenery, and it makes a beautiful piece to hang in the window.
It certainly does. And you can buy those already made, can't you, as far as the grapevine? And then you just add the little touches to it.
Very inexpensive touch, but it really makes a big statement.
It certainly does. And it ties in very well with the garland here as well.
Right. And then we all have the special things that we get out once a year when we unpack our boxes and find all those treasures. Well, this is one of our
very
treasures.
Special. Look at the crushed velvet suit.
Right.
And the lame pants.
She's ready for that holiday bash.
What else have we got here?
And over here we have all that beautiful wrapping paper that we spent hours shopping for.
Right. And we always have some left on the tube.
Exactly.
You know, a big part of every holiday season certainly is stockings.
Right.
And these are, look at the details on these.
The little homemade things, and this one is even made out of an old quilt.
Well, they've taken a quilt that maybe has sort of outlived its, you can see where this is frayed a little bit, but they've still probably wanted to keep it in the family. And so a way to preserve an heirloom.
Well, we pull out all the pillows at Christmas time. And they can be any little message that you have, little Christmas themes. And right now you can buy them in just about any color to go with any decor for the holidays.
Right.
And they just add a nice little touch.
Sure does.
And we have bowls of ornaments.
Isn't that a nice splash of color?
It is. And this could actually be your centerpiece.
Right. Okay.
And over here we have kind of a nice little table
this is
arrangement.
a nice little touch here.
And
Isn't
this
that
is
pretty?
so easy to do. You just take a book and you can spray paint the entire book gold, pages and all. And then we add a nice ribbon over the top. Add a little pick that you can buy. This is already made at the florist or a craft store that has the flower and the little bits of fruit in it.
Right.
Tuck that inside and you have a nice little table arrangement.
And this one is pretty. You know, lots of families have their family Bible. And they may not want to spray paint it gold.
Right.
But this is very
So you
elegant.
can get the same feel with a beautiful ribbon and some flowers tucked in.
That's very
And you can
great.
move this around your house or
And I
give
noticed
them
these
as
are
gifts even.
these are some dried flowers. I think this is hydrangea. Is that what that is?
It is.
So you could even
And some asparagus
be
ferns.
saving some flowers from your own yard that you can, your garden that you could put into the ornament. That's very pretty.
Right.
Belinda has some little things for us
Well,
here.
hi Don, let me show
Nice
you
to see
what
you
we
again.
have.
Now we've gone from a 65-foot tree And the Grand Floridian, all right, just some of the little things
Just a tiny little detail.
that really make a difference.
One of the things that we like to do, and depending upon the type of home that you have, it might be an early American home, cinnamon sticks are wonderful. They in your kitchen, you can use them on a dining room table. They smell beautiful.
Right.
Available at your craft store or a florist. Sometimes the ones that are this long are hard to find, so you generally might have to visit a florist to get them. Tie them with a little bit of roping, cording, of course red and green.
Right.
Good to go.
What else?
Let's give away the secret for how to gild.
Well, we're here to find out the secrets.
Okay,
That's why we came to the experts.
Well, this is so easy to do, and a
Okay.
lot of people don't know it.
Great.
Beautiful gold pots, copper pots, whatever your preference of your color might be, mauve or rose, just whatever is in your house. First thing you want to do is you want to start with artist acrylics in 3 or 4 shades of the colors that you are trying to incorporate. So we've got 3 different shades of gold and a little bit of copper on this pot. But the whole trick to this is the type of sponge that you use. And you want to get yourself a sea sponge.
Okay.
But when you buy this, you don't want to use the outside of this. You actually want to tear your sponge open.
So it's rougher and a lot more texture.
You have a lot, yes, there's a lot of detail on the inside of this that you don't have on the outside.
So then by combining the different colors, it really gives it sort of that antique look.
Yeah, you'll layer one color at a time. You'll
Okay,
start with
just-
like your darkest one and come up to your lightest one.
Very nice.
Okay. Well, we have another new item this year. If you'll hold this for me.
I will.
We've got a peel and stick ribbon, which is most ingenious. I just love this. Peel it and stick it right on. So if you've got napkins that are maybe a little blasé and you just want to dress that table up,
And
look how easy that is. Done.
this is too
Done.
easy.
Nobody will ever know.
They'll never know, will they?
No,
And
they
look
sure
at the
won't.
difference that makes. Nice
All the
little,
world in the
a
difference.
nice little detail. That's really good.
And then we like to do sometimes just like little tiny trees like this that are in the, they already are in the burlap
Yes, I've
bags.
seen those.
Oh,
a lot of
cute,
that you see
aren't
at the
they?
garden centers, and yeah.
And they're just sitting around waiting
Right.
for needing a home. Another great item that we have are stamps, rubber stamps. Your children can make their wrapping paper. You can make Christmas cards. You can do there's a million things.
What a nice
They
way
can
to
be
include
done.
the entire family.
Isn't that a great thing?
It is. I
It's
like
really
those a lot.
great.
Those are great.
Little boxes and things that you might have sitting around your house that traditionally would be used just for all year type of decorations. Bring them out. Set the lovely little cherubs with them. Another really great idea is this piece, and it's made for place cards for your table. It's a dried artichoke in a little clay pot, and you notice the gilding on this one is in greens
It's green.
as opposed to the golds.
With a little
Exactly.
gold behind it, or a bronze coppering kind of look, but then the green on top.
Right, and remember, it's always the darkest color first.
Well, I have a little item that has really been with our family for a very long time. And it's been trimmed so that just 2 of the sections of the pine cone really make the wings.
Right.
And then his little beak is made out of the thorn from a hawthorn tree.
Very lovely.
Isn't that nice?
Very lovely.
It's a real special moment every year when we bring out the ornaments and we start decorating the tree. We're always looking for the little hummingbird. And we have a very special little box for him, so we take good care of him. All right.
Well, let's talk about our holiday table.
Wow. You've done it again. Look at this. This is spectacular.
Well, one of the things that I always love to start with, because it's always so intriguing to the people that are your invited guests or your family members, is to take and wrap a small present that you can leave sitting beside their place setting. And the whole idea behind this is that it's not available to open until dessert.
Until dessert. Well, that certainly
Right.
brings back childhood memories, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
anticipation of opening the
What's in
presents.
that box.
Oh, that's
absolutely
great.
correct.
Yeah, I like that.
And I have a fun little thing that we can do for our centerpieces.
Okay.
This is just a glass ball, traditional glass Christmas ball. You can buy it in any color to match your table setting. We've used it with silks here. And we've run a little bead of glue around the bottom so it'll sit flat.
Okay.
Right. One thing I must say is that we wouldn't want to put water in this glass ball. We would have to put a little florist pick in it. You can use it for your little vase for
So then
fresh
you can
flowers.
use fresh flowers. couldn't you?
Exactly,
Oh.
exactly. And you can use it in any color
That's
or
a
any
nice little
combination
touch.
of colors for the holidays.
Well, you talk about details. I have to tell you, I've never seen Mickey China
China.
before. This is
really quite
definitely
It's very nice.
a beautiful
isn't
detail.
it? Exactly.
So you've really carried across our theme here today.
Well, we
haven't
couldn't
you?
do Disney at home without Mickey Placeware.
Absolutely not. And it's very attractive. You know, what you've managed to do is to pull it all together. The idea of creating and carrying across that theme, and certainly with this one, the traditional Christmas with the reds and the greens, and then pulling in
the fresh fruit,
the fresh
and the nuts.
fruit and the nuts and the holiday season, and of course the anticipation of the gifts for everyone. You've done a wonderful job of pulling all this together. So there's really only one thing left to do. You know, we need to celebrate. It's the finishing touches that complete holiday preparations. Whether it's a tableside decoration or a Mickey ornament, at Walt Disney World we always go the distance to make the season extra special. Add details to your exterior and interior decorating. You'll be amazed at the difference.
I keep in my kitchen always a box like this, and within this box are exactly the things I need to prepare a simple gift, one that looks great but that's fast and easy to do. Things I like to keep handy are small cellophane corsage bags. You can get them from a florist. Also in the box I have scissors, gold twine, small embellishments such as holly and berries, and small gift tags. Remember, you can make your own magic. Have a wonderful holiday season.
The holiday season is about giving. Expressing your personal creativity as you decorate, cook, and entertain can make such a difference in the lives of your friends and family. To our guests, a special thanks for sharing your secrets. You did a wonderful job. We hope that we've inspired you to try some of our ideas at home. There's only one thing left to do as soon as our special guest arrives, and I think he's here. Hi, Mickey. Welcome to our party.
Hi, Mickey.
Great. On behalf of our Walt Disney World family, have a wonderful holiday season and keep creating those magic moments with Disney at home. All right, we have some presents for everybody. We hope you've enjoyed this Walt Disney World at Home for the Holidays video, and please stay tuned for an ingredients shopping list and information on Disney's newest way to vacation, the Disney Institute. To create a roasted crispy duck with citrus reduction sauce, you will need the following ingredients. 2 Long Island ducks, 4.5 to 5 pounds each. Reserve the necks and giblets. 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. 1/4 of a cup of black pepper, coarsely ground. 1/2 tablespoon of ancho chili powder. And 2 pieces of butcher's twine, 16 inches each. The reduction of orange sauce is a tantalizing sauce that complements and enhances the roasted crispy duck. Here's what you will need. 3 navel oranges. Separate the juice and the pulp. 1 blanched orange peel, chopped. 1/2 cup of brown sugar, firmly packed. 2 cinnamon sticks. Duck drippings, chilled with the fat removed. The roasted neck and giblets of the duck. 1/2 cup of lemon juice. 3 cups of chicken stock. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. 4 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, and salt and pepper to taste. To create an aromatic dish of wild rice and fresh corn, the following ingredients are needed. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. 1 cup of Spanish onion chopped. That's about 1.5 medium-sized onions. 1.5 cups of wild rice. 4 cups of chicken stock. 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. 1/2 cup of corn kernels, either fresh or frozen and thawed. 1 cup of chopped red pepper, and 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar. Braised cabbage is a wonderful holiday season dish. For this dish, you will need the following. 1/2 head of red cabbage, thinly sliced. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. 2 strips of smoked bacon, finely chopped. 1 small red onion, thinly sliced. 1/2 cup of chicken stock. 1/2 cup of brown sugar, firmly packed. 1 tablespoon of caraway seeds. 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. This recipe is one that will be handed down from generation to generation as a holiday tradition. You will need the following ingredients to make your own gingerbread house. 3 pounds and 4 ounces of flour, 4 pounds, 6 ounces of honey, 4 eggs, 2 ounces of powdered sugar, 6 ounces of all-purpose flour, 1.5 ounces of Lebkuchen spice, 2/3 an ounce of ground cinnamon, 2/3 an ounce of ground cloves, 3/4 of an ounce of ammonium carbonate, and 1/2 cup of warm water. To decorate the gingerbread house, we use a royal frosting. You will need the following. 1 pound 4 ounces of powdered sugar, 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar, 1/2 cup of egg whites. This chocolate souffle can be the ending to a perfect evening. You will need 2 cups of fresh milk, 1 3/4 ounces of butter, 4 1/4 ounces of all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 9 ounces of sweetened chocolate, 10 egg yolks, 10 egg whites, and 7 ounces of granulated sugar. 9 egg yolks, 3 whole eggs, 2 cups of champagne, 7 ounces of granulated sugar, and 1 pound of spiced cooked cranberries.
Something tells me I'm going to remember this vacation.
The Disney Institute was created for people just like you as the newest way to vacation at the Walt Disney World Resort.
You won't believe what you can do. All the things that you can try. Look around and you will see all the things that you can be, all the ways that you can fly. Doing things you always dreamed of, or things you never dreamed you'd do. You'll be amazed when you get through exploring different sides of you. You won't believe what you can do.
The Disney Institute is a place where you can choose from over 40 hands-on programs that let you experience the magic of creating your own animated characters, host a television or radio show, explore gardening in the great outdoors, climb a rock wall, or cook like a gourmet.
Took a Mexican cooking class.
It was great.
I love it. The cooking programs are even enjoyable for people who don't cook all the time. The best part is they clean up after you.
You can spend your vacation doing all the things you've always dreamed of, and some things you've never even thought of.
I see these people on TV do it all the time, and I tell myself, hey, I can do that, and today I got a chance to do it. I feel really good.
It's about those things that you thought you never could do, and we give you an opportunity to try it.
Well, I've always wanted to rock climb, but the only thing holding me back was my fear of heights. So I figured, why not come out here and try and conquer that fear? And I did when I made it to the top.
What happens is you can come here and find out more about who you are in a very relaxed, easygoing way, where there are no demands, no grades, just the pleasure of learning.
You know, one of the things that makes Disney animated features really stand out is the use of voices.
My name is Mickey. Help, Mickey, help.
Evening performances, children's programs, a full-service spa, 38,000 square foot sports and fitness center, 18-hole championship golf course, clay tennis courts, and 6 swimming pools create one unbelievable experience after another.
You'll be amazed when you get through exploring different sides of you. You won't believe what you can do. You won't believe what you can do. I can't believe I'm doing this.
For your free vacation planning video or to make reservations, please call 1-800-496-6337, extension XC04.
This has been an odd production. Thanks for watching.